Another thing, have you noticed that the weather's always changing now? Because of El Niño. And now everything can be blamed on El Niño. Which translates into what? The child? A weather pattern that, like, demolishes California, puts it where it probably should be, in the water. Like, could a 4-year-old kick your town's ass? Maybe we should call it the first 4 Black Sabbath albums. That would work. Bakersfield, California was destroyed today by the first 4 Black Sabbath albums. Fuck yeah, it was! Have you ever heard Paranoid? God damn! That would destroy my town right now. Let's do it.
From Buffalo, New York, it's your backstage pass to the local music scene, and you don't even have to do anything gross for it. Okay, maybe just let us watch you take off your boots. Slower. It's the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast.
Welcome to the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast, where we talk about the ups, downs, lefts, rights,
and drumming lead singers that aren't Phil Collins
of the Buffalo music scene. I'm Ryan Gurnett, and Cassidy, the I-90 smelled like bacon on my drive over here.
I'm Cassidy Dwan. Ryan, what's that in your beard? Is it bacon?
Oh, yeah, it is. On episode number 35 of the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast, me and new producer Mike Sid will be interviewing local musician John Janikevich, and we'll talk to him about his 2 bands, The Scarecrow Show and Dreadnecks.
We'll be playing music from both of his bands, plus new tracks by Michael Delano, Johnny and the Man Kids. We'll also recap the area's previous and upcoming concerts, and Ryan plays a game of //cash/The Clash with John.
Well done, first try. So, but first, we have some new music to play. I typically, like once a week, someone will send me music. Like, hey, check out my band. And sometimes it's really good and it'll fit the podcast, and sometimes it's not so good, and I'll give them some kind words and some constructive criticism.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah, constructive criticism.
Very good.
But I kind of had a first recently, and the music was really good, so I wanted to play it, but B, I just thought it was a great story. I had someone reach out to me, and they said, hey, I've been stalking you via Facebook so I could talk to you about getting some of this music on your podcast.
That's a healthy internet stalker.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love those kind of stalkers.
Perfect.
I have Facebook friends that I don't even know why they're along for the ride. So if you actually have a reason, that's cool. So I asked her, I'm like, so what's your band name? And she says, this isn't for my band. This is for my son.
It was a mom?
It was a mom.
Ah.
She is like if you're listening to this and you are the parent of like a 16-year-old child and you want to help out by stalking a small local podcast host to get his, like, that's really awesome.
Any type of, self-promotion of not self but your child. I mean, for their art's sake and exposure, adopt me.
Exactly. Like my parents were always like pretty supportive with everything I did, but like they never reached out to like someone about this. So that gives me the feels a little bit. So I wanted to give Liz a shout out, and so we've got some really cool music. This guy is named Michael Delano. He is 16 years old.
Wow.
This is his first song. It's called Glory, and it's really good.
Delano, Michael Delano. I gave him that Buffalo A. I called him Delano, right?
I'm not...
That's hard. Okay, so Michael Delano's mom,
yes,
Liz, contacted... I got the whole story. Great.
But no, sometimes you hear something and you're like, well, this is good for a 16-year-old. This is good. Like, this defies age. He's an excellent singer, and I think he's got a really bright future. So here is Glory by Michael Delano here on the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast on allwny.com.
outside the Shell gas station where I live. Begging for money that I know I shouldn't have. And I'm lonely, lonely, to the point where all my feelings are gone. And I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck I did wrong. And I've traveled all around the world waiting for my day to come, but I don't think it'll ever come. And I gave you this, my heart of gold. Never thought you would turn into stone. Turn on the lights, 'cause Mom, I'm scared, and I don't know when, and I don't know where. Turn on the lights, 'cause Mom, I'm scared, and I don't know when, and I don't know where. No, no. Loneliness is a solitary, arbitrary friend. And I'll play my tune, just like I always did. Because I know one day I'll finally of all of this. Turn on the lights, 'cause Mom, I'm scared, and I don't know when, and I don't know where. Turn on the lights, 'cause Mom, I'm scared, and I don't know when, and I'll never, never know where.
This is Sid the Kid, and you're listening to allwny.com.
Okay, so at some point, I really want to have like a cool previous shows like drop. So to be like previous shows, pew 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 pew. That's my idea, but we don't have that now, so that's the intro we get. So Cassidy has not been to any shows recently, not too much.
Cassidy hasn't gotten out much recently.
I understand. It's okay. I've been out a little bit. So I do have two shows that I wanted to talk about that I've been to. The first one was the Infringement Festival fundraiser at Milky's. It was the Infringement Variety Hour.
That I saw.
Yes, you were
Good
there.
times,
Yeah, you
good
were there.
times.
And we the magician promised and the snakes promised did not come through.
It's always the
unfortunately.
magic that, doesn't pull through.
So she got there and she's like, my snake guy can't make it tonight. The dancer from Gotham Knights, and I'm like, I've been telling everyone that there's going to be snakes. Anyway, oh my goodness. So Red Huffy performed first. They are a new mutation of the band Green Schwinn.
Right. That
Uh,
makes sense.
Yeah, this is
Sticking with that musical theme.
Yeah, I like it. So that's John Blake, who's the Green Schwinn guy, so to speak. Pam Swartz. They had the bass player who plays with Bad Ronald. I'm not going to remember his name. And they had a woman playing washboard. And I've seen John perform a few times, and you know, it's a Tiny Tim cover band, so it can be polarizing at times. Sometimes that's something you're in the mood for, and sometimes it might not be, but this was easily the best performance I've ever seen of his.
I like all Pam Swartz projects, too, because
Yeah.
I call her my hometown Laurie Anderson. I think that she's quite eclectic, and as a performer, always a good time.
Yes, I always try to include her or Jess Collins on any of my stuff, because they always put on a good show. So he was great. It was a really good set list. I remember he played Perhaps by Doris Day.
Lovely.
And oh man, I'm not going to remember anything else. There was a lot of booze that night. Anyway, after that, Brass Pro and the Waterfront Revivalists played. Basically, it was a marching band with people just all over Milky's, and it was a dance party, and everyone had a blast, and they played like old funk tunes like Vehicle, and they played stuff like Hey Ya by Outkast,
And in Milky's, too. So
Yes.
you've got this brass ringing through Milky's, which is not marching band space,
they
really.
actually prefer indoors because they say the horns sound better.
Wow.
And they do indoors. I thought they only did, I've only seen them in Infringement Festival doing the parades.
Marching through the street,
So
right.
I didn't think they actually did venue stuff, but they did venue stuff, and they were excellent. And
Cool.
you know, if you're booking shows and you're trying to get people in there buying drinks too, and you get a band with like 15 people in it,
We've got a
kinda
couple
works,
few
too.
of these marching bands in Buffalo. I'm not sure if Erie Lackawanna Railroad still plays and does their marching band thing. I know
haven't
that
heard them,
the
but-
12/8 Path Band
Oh yeah, yep.
does their marching around, but particularly Brass Pro and the Waterfront Revivalists. Is that true?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What a catchy name.
So, Manic State played as well with my buddy Eli and Lindsay and
That was something.
Oh, it was Polycoder. I think was the third member of the band, and the highlight they did an awesome cover
Formerly Scantron?
Is that what it is?
Scantron.
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 I think
Oh, man.
there's one of each.
Sure.
Yeah. So Scantron and
Lindsay as a drummer, this is where I walked into the show, right? And, I'd seen her in other projects in years past, but she was wearing a black ski mask, a tutu skirt, and a black t-shirt, and so she was quite the masked performer.
she looked like a ninja.
And acted like a ninja, because I have never seen someone so jumpy in their drumming. You know, she's jumping around the drum kit.
She had the cocktail kit, so without
gosh.
the throne and the kick drum, like you can do that. That's a fun thing to play too. I've done a couple shows.
So as you're
with the
watching
cocktail
her
kit.
drum, right?
Yeah.
Because this is, as I'm walking into Milky's, what I see is such energy that it's almost, it puts you off the beat as you're watching it. But if you turn around and you close your eyes and you're just listening, the girl didn't miss a beat.
Oh, it was perfect.
Was steady energy.
Yeah. So they were cool. I saw this for the first time. This rocked my goddamn face off.
That's confusing. The band is called This.
Yes. This. Yeah, I think we've had that confusion before. No, they were... I've heard their stuff, and I've heard it was good. I've had people tell me they were good.
How many pieces are there in
There are
this?
3 pieces. There
Right.
are drums, 2 basses, and one of the basses, Haley, also sings. And she has a fantastic voice. And Logan kind of does like the lead bass, quote
Right.
unquote. Like Haley does like rhythm bass, kind of the actual bass line, where Logan does like lead guitar work, and it's brilliant. It's some of the best bass
I'm
playing I've ever seen.
interested in that arrangement, like
Yeah.
as a double bass, non-fronted by guitar or keys kind of
It's-
ensemble. That's cool.
It was way better than I ever could have thought it was. I was super impressed by them. And so that was that night, and then real quick, I went to the Johnny and the Man Kids CD release party at Mohawk Place. I want to say that was March 12th? Yes, March 12th.
Back in the cold of winter.
Yes. Or no, April 12th. It was, yeah. That was,
Still
man.
could have been the cold of winter.
Yeah, right. It was pretty freezy that night. We interviewed some of the bands outside, which we will feature in an upcoming episode that isn't this one, but I couldn't stay late enough to see Johnny and the Man Kids, because I actually had the Infringement show the next day, so I
Right.
didn't get to catch them.
It's hard to be old.
It is. I saw Passed Out, who's my favorite Buffalo band again, and they were great. They actually played a completely different set from what they did at the March 22nd fundraiser at Mohawk, so it was cool hearing some new material from them that I hadn't heard before. And another band that just blew my brains out with awesomeness was Halo Nelly.
All right.
They are a three-piece rock band, dance pop, I almost want to say. They remind me of Rubble Bucket. And I know you like Rubble Bucket.
I'm a Rubble Bucket supporter. The energy, they kind of had a church vibe. Well, never mind that I saw them in a church.
Yeah, they're a big band.
My.
They're a big band with a lot of stuff. Where Halo Nelly's a
energy.
smaller
As
arrangement.
a three-piece, Halo Nelly.
Yes, but like the guitar was real spot on. The guy was moving around a lot. The bass lines were cool. The singer, her voice, her name is it's an Ange something.
Oh, let's look that up.
Let's look that up. We can get things right on this show.
Halo Nelly. I like the name.
Yeah, they don't have anything recorded yet. I was actually just earlier, a couple days earlier, I was trying to find some information on them, and I couldn't find a whole lot. And I didn't even think I knew they were playing going in, and they blew me away. They were awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a live lesson in Facebooking properly. They don't have their bands. They don't have anyone's name listed. They don't even have a bio listed on here.
No,
Guys.
we can't talk about them.
So
we don't know their names.
So the bass player, she was excellent. I don't know her name, but yeah. But the whole band was really good.
But we could look up their band and see when they're playing next. No.
You can find them on Facebook.
Excellent.
Yeah, you can do that. All right, and that's all we have for that. What we are going to do is we're going to play one of the songs from Johnny and the Man Kids' new EP. So this is a track called That's Different, and it is the title track. Here on the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast on allwny.com. And we are back on The Struggle is Real. We have John. Now, I want to get this pronunciation right. Janikevich?
Not even close. Yukonevich.
Yukonevich. Oh, okay. So I had the first consonant off. Okay. I thought it was going to be the Y sound at first, but then I really sat and thought about it, I think Joe Kent called you like Juknuwitz or something.
Juknuwitz. I get that a lot too.
And I heard that. I'm like, oh, that's not right. So if nothing else, we at least try to be well pronounced on this podcast. So John is from both the Scarecrow Show and Dreadnecks. I've called you the most energetic live band in Buffalo, a moniker I'm happy to give.
And a description we're happy to receive.
Thank you. Kind of talk about the work ethic that kind of goes into, like, why you guys feel the need to really give it, like, that amount of energy on stage. Because you don't see it as often as you'd think we should.
Right. See, though, that's it. We don't even think about it in terms of giving an extra amount of energy or anything. That's just, we're all very energetic, pretty high-strung people as it is. So we just go up there and perform and do our thing. And whether we're playing, as you saw, the art gallery on the west side or the town ballroom or something, which will be there June 14th for Scathed, their CD release party.
Wow, town ballroom. Yeah, good for them.
Regardless of the stage, I mean, we all give it the same amount of energy because that's all we know how to do.
Fantastic. I love that. I was the same way too. I always said if I wasn't covered in sweat after like 2 or 3 songs, I wasn't trying hard enough.
Yeah.
Like you really got to push yourself. So, kind of the history of the band, and I'm assuming it was you and your brother to start with.
Correct. Yeah, we started it with a longtime friend from high school. This guy, Ray Cook III. He was our original guitarist from I think we started spring of 2016 now.
Okay.
And he was with us through 2017. He had a kid, so for obvious reasons he had to step away. And it was a clean break. We still play shows with him now and then whenever he's available. It was just, you know how it is. You got to give a lot to a band that's really trying to advance somewhere, and he just couldn't give it that amount of time and energy, which is totally understandable. And Ben knew Vince from school. They went to college in Geneseo together. So we hooked up with Vince through that, and we jammed a couple times. He learned the whole first CD in like a week. Came down polished and ready to go. So I think we played a show at Stamps within a week of him technically joining.
Wow.
We jammed with him one time, went out and just started playing immediately.
Yeah, he really makes it look effortless on stage, the way he plays. I dig that about him.
He's definitely got the star power, the swagger, you know.
Oh, yeah, you need that up front, especially with you behind the drums. Who is your favorite vocalist / drummer? Are you like Phil Collins, you Peter Gabriel, like Don Henley?
That's a good question. I never really thought of that. Because I separate the two. I don't think in terms of being a singing drummer. I'm the drummer, and I have to sing by default because we don't have a frontman. So I just do. I guess my favorite singing drummer would probably be what's his name from the band, Levon Helm.
Yep.
That's the guy.
Good choice, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Phil Collins is good too. A close second. We're going to see him October 4th. He's coming to Buffalo. So
yeah, people are more excited about Phil Collins than I think I originally thought they would be. Like, I'm like,
the tickets sold out in like 5 minutes.
Really?
I didn't know there was that kind of demand for Phil Collins, but
yeah, he's certainly in the rock community. I think he's divisive. I think people what they think about him.
Underrated in my opinion.
So
definitely pretty underrated.
Can you give it your all on drums while you sing, or like when you play live, is it kind of, is recording a little different than when you play live as far as like what you can do with drums?
Recording, we do the drums and the vocals separately.
Yeah.
But live, like I said, I don't really have different levels to the energy thing. It's an on and off switch.
But even like with coordination,
I'm giving it my all.
Like you can.
Well, with coordination, I have to like separate it. I ignore the lower half of my body. I ignore the half that's drumming, and I just think about the words because that's where I always mess up is with lyrics.
Oh, sure.
But so I get comfortable enough with the band performing on the drums to the point where I could sort of shut off the part of me that's thinking about the arms and legs, and then just focus on from the head up, the singing thing,
No, understood. I feel the same way about backing vocals. After a little while, like once you don't have to think about it, you can use other parts of your brain to kind of figure out.
different and new parts. How does your brother play the bass upside down? Or he loops his arm underneath?
Very good question. Well, he's a huge Billy Sheehan fan, and Billy Sheehan would play like that, bass player from Buffalo, for those who don't know. And he would do the violin style playing on his shoulder. And there was one time I saw a video where Sheehan had his strap broke sometime way back in the day before strap locks. So he's holding it like a cello, just completely vertically, and he finished the song like that, with the bass rested on his knee or on his boot or something.
I've done that before.
So, Ben more or less just tries to mimic Billy Sheehan and a couple other guys like that, real aggressive style players, and just take it to the next level, try to be innovative with it in his own way, and I think he's definitely succeeded.
Oh, absolutely. No, he's a great bass player and a good showman live.
Oh, definitely a great showman.
So what would you say influences the sound of the Scarecrow Show? What bands?
Style-wise, well, Mike, the sound guy from Evening Star, said we sound like Pennywise plus Motorhead. And I think that pretty much hits the nail on the head there. There's a lot of punk rock influence and a lot of old school rock and roll, old school heavy metal stuff.
I was thinking Misfits meets Guns N' Roses.
I was going to say my personal influences that I throw into it is it's like a Black Sabbath meets Misfits type of thing.
There you go.
Ben's a huge Rush fan, so that's where that little bit of progressive twinge gets thrown in there. Vince is really into Aerosmith, stuff like that.
Sure.
A lot of more straightforward classic rock. And then the common ground that we all have together is the blues. So we try to take old school blues licks in that and speed them up, make them a little heavier, throw them all together with a punk rock twist on it, and that's pretty much our sound right there.
Sure. Do you have a new EP that came out? It is only available as a physical copy still?
For now, yep.
For now. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you.
We're going to play a song from it in a little bit. The last song you did it's called House, and it's a cover of House of the Rising Sun, which so that's a traditional. So it's not
technically, yeah.
So it's not technically a zombie song. So there's no copyright on it.
Yeah.
So did you kind of start from there as far as creating, picking a song that you wanted to cover?
It's a very long story behind that. I guess the short version would be when myself and our original guitarist, Ray Cook III, we go back years and years. We were jamming when I was probably a freshman in high school, and one of the first songs I ever remember playing with him was Free Fallin' by Tom Petty, which we weren't about to cover, and House of the Rising Sun. And the time this recording of the EP came together was just about the end of the Ray days and the beginning of when Vince was working himself into the band. So one of the last things, I think the last thing Ray recorded with us was that song, which was just sort of like a fitting end, closing the book on that chapter of the Scarecrow Show, by recording one of our favorites that we've always played the whole time we were together in a band, even jamming back in the day, and then through the life of the Scarecrow Show. It was a song we always liked to perform, so we just sort of tried to put together the best version we could of it and throw it out there and put our own spin on it, definitely. I heard, what are they called? Five Finger Death Punch. Ooh. Put out like a heavier version of it or something that I didn't care for too much, so we tried to stray away from that and keep it a little more punk rock meets the blues.
Yeah, you can definitely hear that.
A good combo of our sound, a good example of our sound as a whole.
Sure. Where'd you record the new EP?
Same place we recorded the first album. It was in my friend Tim Foss's trailer at Aristo Terrace Trailer Park, Yorkshire, New York.
Nice.
It was definitely a bedroom recording, but Tim really, really knows what he's doing. So I'd say the production sounds so well that we could probably tell a little fib and say that we recorded it at Aristo Terrace Studios or something like that.
Oh, yeah. You know? No, the great part about working at a small studio like that is as long as they're okay with it, you can kind of just call them whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good stuff, man. He, of course, charged us a great price. I used to play with him in a metalcore band called The Crypt years and years ago when I was just out of high school, so we've always had that, musical connection. And we were mentioning looking to record again, and he goes, well, you should probably just come back here, man. I was like, yeah, that's probably what we'll do then, you know. He did well with the first album, so we wanted to stick with him as long as we could.
Sure, so it was in a trailer park, you said. So
yes.
Single wide or double wide?
Double wide.
Okay.
Double wide.
The single would have been.
Yeah, that would've
horrible.
been
The
a tight
double's
fit.
probably
That
pretty
would've been a
tight anyway,
fit.
too.
It's definitely difficult. We did it in his bedroom, so it's one piece at a time.
Oh man, I picture when you say that, I'm picturing like one piece of the drum at a time.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like this room.
This is snare.
Cut in half, pretty much. He had to take his bed out and everything.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's the way recording should be done.
Oh, it was a good time. It was
Like,
definitely a
who
good
needs
time.
fancy rooms with tunable walls when you can just you can set up a microphone anywhere.
That's it.
So, the last time I saw you guys live was at Mohawk Place on March 22nd for my infringement fundraiser, which was a super fun night.
Good time.
So I remember talking to Vin, your guitar player, about his hair, and he was telling me he went full out Slash.
Yes.
For the event.
Yes.
So I wasn't sure which of you guys were going to come today, so I'm fine doing this with you anyway. I kind of wanted to I want to test your Guns N' Roses, your Slash trivia.
Oh man,
So-
all right, I'm down.
So first, I found Johnny Cash facts, and I'm like, we can figure out if they're Slash or Johnny Cash.
Okay.
Then I extended that, and I added the Clash. So this game is going to be called Slash Cash.
Ooh.
Oh, we're keeping that in. I rehearsed this all morning trying to say it right.
Yeah.
Slash Cash or
Crash.
slash Cash the Clash. That's what this
Alright.
game is called.
That's a great game.
Okay, I'm going to say it one more time just because I'm proud of myself. Slash Cash the Clash. Woo!
All right.
Oh, man, I stuttered as a kid. Not anymore. All right. So there's going to be 12 of these, so just
All right.
tell me which of the three it is. All right. And I had to switch pronouns a bit since one's a group and
He or
two.
they or-
so yeah, so that's but it all makes sense. All right. Broke their nose and lost some teeth after smashing their car into a utility pole.
I'm gonna say Slash.
That is Johnny Cash.
Ooh.
They used to customize ladies' car coats.
Ooh man. I'm gonna say Slash again.
That is the Clash.
Ooh man.
What's a lady's car coat?
Never
I
heard of that.
don't
man.
know.
Okay.
I just had to take a wild guess.
I was hoping that the Britishness of the answer would be a bit of a giveaway. Doesn't eat anything from the sea.
I'm gonna guess Slash again.
That is Slash.
All right.
Ding ding ding.
Ding ding ding.
Let's find an effect for that later.
Okay, yeah.
We can
do
find
that.
we can find a copyright free ding ding ding.
Cool.
We got effects. We have loops.
They had an album deemed unfit for radio play that was never released in the U.S.
I'm gonna say the Clash.
That is correct. That is the Clash. Refused to use a computer until 2003.
Slash.
That is Slash.
All right.
I love that fact. That fact makes me so
That's
happy.
Great. That is great.
Oh man. I imagine he had to have like some assistant do something for him.
Yeah, he probably just threw money at that problem.
It's
throw it away.
like, so what do you do for a living? Oh, I check Slash's Hotmail.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this one. During one hotel stay, they let 100 baby chicks loose on each floor of the hotel they were staying at, which was a total of 500 baby chicks squawking around the hotel.
Wow. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna guess Johnny Cash. On
That is
one.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah, it sounds like a Johnny Cash.
Oh,
thing to do.
yeah, that's fantastic. That might be my favorite fact I learned about this. All right, directed and starred in a movie called Cops and Robbers. Cop and Robbers.
I'll guess the Clash on that one.
That is the Clash. I believe Joe Strummer directed, and Mick Jones and one of the other guys.
I think they have a song
starred in
called
it.
Cops and Robbers or something.
Yeah, I think you're
might have
right.
been
I
the
think it's on
giveaway
London
that
Calling,
one.
maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Was attacked by their own ostrich. Ostrich? Did I say
Okay.
it?
Let's go with Johnny Cash.
That is Johnny Cash. Had a pet and I opened up a wrong window. Had a pet anaconda named Stan.
Slash.
That is Slash. To the surprise of no one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
I
sure
can
I've-
see him being a snake guy.
I have a feeling I've seen at least like 1,000 photo shoots of him in my lifetime,
Yeah.
like going through the 90s of him in like Rolling Stone with snakes on him.
Oh, doesn't he have a side project called like Slash's Snake Pit or
Yes,
something?
yeah, Slash's Snake Pit.
That should be a dead giveaway.
They're
right
actually pretty good. Collects pinball machines.
there. The Clash.
That is Slash.
Ooh. pretty eclectic.
I would like to hope that he does so just so because Guns N' Roses Pinball is like the best pinball.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Nice.
There's there's Kiss Pinball kind of stands up to it as far as music based, but really like you want to play Guns N' Roses Pinball.
Yeah, I saw the Guns N' Roses one somewhere in Florida. We were on tour with Dreadnecks. It was in one of these bars or something.
If I ever have the money and I see one again, I'm just be like, how much? Like I'll give you all of my money. I need
take it
this.
home.
All right, two left. Campaign for Native American rights.
I'll say Slash.
That is Johnny Cash. Did that a little late in his career. And finally, was arrested for stealing pillowcases.
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to go with Slash.
That is The Clash.
Wow.
So you got 7 out of 12 right, which is still good for the win.
Not too bad.
And your prize
10,000 points
is a copy of Intent to Sell's Free the Free-Minded.
Awesome. I'll give this a listen on the way home.
Check out Intent to Sell on Facebook.
Cool.
They're on hiatus right now, but they're fucking... Have you heard them before?
No.
They got this Rage Against the Machine vibe going. Like, Brandon's like a super great... I was going to say a super great rapper. Like, I can't come up with better words. He's an excellent rapper, and the band behind him is, like, tight and heavy. So I definitely think you'll dig that.
Oh, I like some Rage Against the Machine type stuff, so I'll definitely give this a listen.
I saw you guys
That's
cover
awesome.
Bulls on Parade.
That's right, yep.
Let's see, how's time doing? Oh, cool. And we're at time. So, we are going to play House next by the Scarecrow Show. And then we'll be back to talk with John again about Dreadnecks. So we'll be right back here on the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast on allwny.com. And that is House by The Scarecrow Show off their new EP. Is it just called The Scarecrow Show EP?
The Scarecrow Show EP.
It is on there. You have to go to their shows to check them out, so go to their show and check it out. It is a fantastic EP. So, John, now we're going to talk to you about Dreadnecks. Describe Dreadnecks to someone who might not be familiar with it.
Oh man, that's a tough one. Well, some people describe us as swamp metal. I guess that makes sense. Some people, Grant just says it's swampy rock and roll. I think that's probably the best description. Devin, the guitarist, says it's shitty polka music, which I can also.
I can actually.
I can
now that
see
you mention that, yeah.
All the rhythms are that you know.
I'm thinking gypsy punk. Is what I've
punk,
been.
yes. We're all big Gogol Bordello fans, so that gypsy punk stuff definitely creeps in there.
His voice always made me a little weird. Like, I don't know. That was the one reason I couldn't connect with them. But they made really interesting music.
He speaks like 8 or 9 languages, so it's got to be hard to keep a good accent straight for any one of them, you know. But yeah, I'd say it's a good mix of punk rock, old school rock and roll, gypsy music, heavy metal, country, bluegrass, a little bit of jazz,
Must hear like some southern
just about
Cajun
everything else.
Kinda,
yeah, definitely some southern vibes in there.
Cool. So, what are your shows like? Because I can't imagine it's just 4 dudes standing on stage.
It's just about as energetic as the Scarecrow Show performances. Grant, I would call him the best frontman in the area with no hesitation. He's just a fireball of energy. He's tireless. He's all over the place. He spends more time off of the stage during the performances than on stage, just getting the crowd involved and everything, working up his frontman thing.
I should take a second to recognize Dreadnecks as I believe they won the most All WNY awards at this year's award show.
Oh wow!
As well.
Well, good for us.
Yes, I think
Much appreciated.
You guys got 6, and Grant got one for washboard playing.
That's right.
So
greatest washboard player in the area.
I've seen some washboard where he kind of just like swings it around his neck, kind of helicopters it.
That's his patented move, the washboard helicopter.
So what's the instrumentation of the band then?
Well, right now we have one guitarist, bass player, and myself on the drums. Joe Lamoureux on guitar, Nick Myers on the bass, and myself. And then Grant is the front man, lead vocalist, and Joe and I both do a little bit of backup vocals as well.
And does he do anything outside of the washboard, or is the washboard his...
Washboard is his main thing. He doesn't. I don't think Grant plays an instrument, which is miraculous how he writes these songs just through other musicians, I guess. But other than the washboard, it's straight vocals. Once in a while, he'll pull out the kazoo for some solos, and that's about it.
Yeah, absolutely. You need the kazoo.
Of course, it's timeless.
Is it weird that no one's invented a kazoo pickup yet?
An electric kazoo, man. That could be breakthrough.
That's some next level stuff right there.
Breakthrough right there.
That'd be hot.
It really seems odd that someone hasn't figured that out yet.
We're gonna have to make him one. You know, like John Popper from Blues Traveler has that harmonica that like sticks in the microphone.
Oh yeah.
With all the duct tape and that, we could like rig him up a electric kazoo.
The kazoo factory is right up in Eden.
Oh man.
We can get there. We could get there in half an hour and talk to their kazoo engineers.
I think we might have to look into this.
Have to have a 9-volt battery on the stage or a 12-volt car battery on the stage hooked up to that, just for effect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's as much about the presentation as it is the actual sound you get out of it.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to talk to Grant about this.
Excellent. We can tell him if he creates it. We'll have him on the podcast just to talk about the creation of the electric kazoo.
Oh, for sure.
Because I'd love to hear. I imagine there's at least a bit of electrocution that goes into something like that.
Oh, there's gotta be. There's gotta be.
From hearing Grant from what I've heard of Grant, it seems like that's probably happened before.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So when are you guys playing next?
Let's see. Dreadnecks will be at Good Bar May 11th, and a private party on May 18th down in Olean, and then a bunch of dates coming up in June. We have June 1st at the Border Bar in Pittston, Pennsylvania. We're doing a festival called Trishstock, June 7th. The Finger Lakes Metal Festival is Saturday, June 22nd.
Oh, wow.
Another festival, Togetherness Fest in Spencer, New York, June 28th. So, yeah, we're pretty much booked solid through the summer right now.
Oh, fantastic. So check out the Dreadnecks and their Facebooky stuff. And what about Scarecrow Show? Any shows coming up there either? I know, did you mention the May 11th show at Good Bar?
May 11th at Good Bar, yes.
Yes.
We'll be playing. Scarecrow Show has Friday, May 10th at the Shamrock Bar and Grill in Sardinia. And then we'll also be at the Mohawk Monday the 13th.
Nice.
And then, of course, the show at Milky's, May 24th. Looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I have to remember to talk about that later in the episode. Yeah, I'm really excited about that, Bill. And you guys haven't been to Milky's before, have you?
No, it's our first time.
So it'll be fun. It's a real cool vibe there. Like, everyone just kind of gets along. And
that's what I've heard. I've only heard good things about Milky's.
So I'll tell you the bad things, but I'll tell you off mic.
Yeah, tell me later.
I think I'm allowed to do that. Cool. Well, I think we have tons of music and such packed into the episode, so why don't we call it here? John, thank you so much for joining us.
Sounds good. Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So check out the Scarecrow Show and Dreadnecks on social medias and Spotify's. Get out to see the Scarecrow Show live so you can get a copy of their new EP called the Scarecrow Show EP, which you absolutely need to listen to. And,
real quick, there's a lot of great local bands around here, but two that I always just like to shout out whenever I get a chance because they're my absolute favorites.
Yeah. I should ask you to do that anyway.
Handsome Jack, the boogie blues band from Lockport, absolutely
yeah.
love them, and Malarchuk, the doom metal band. They're just absolutely great. So Handsome Jack, Malarchuk, check them out.
I'm not a big doom guy, so Malarchuk doesn't. I think they're fine.
Doesn't strike your fancy.
But we're actually having Benny Hayes from Handsome Jack is actually going to be here in 8 days.
No way.
Doing another interview. So
tell him I said hey.
He offered to come. Like, I didn't even ask. He offered to come on, and I'm like,
that's great.
Whatever you want. Like, absolutely. So I'm really excited about that. So
those guys are doing big things these days. It's good to see.
Yeah, they were touring Europe for a while.
It's crazy. It's great to see another local band that's doing so well. That's really just getting out there like that.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Sometimes just
inspiration for us.
Yeah, sometimes just gotta hit the road and.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Play some shows and see what happens, man.
Well, back when I could tour, I think I should have tried to figure out Europe for at least a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Like, I keep seeing bands that don't have that European following, you wouldn't think, and they're still going out there and they're having a blast. So, kids, if you're at home, plan a European tour, see stuff.
Absolutely, it's a whole different scene over there.
You can tour the East Coast when you're old and gray, and I might try at some point, but do it when you're young and you can get out there and do it. That is the moral from this episode.
Absolutely. I second that.
Excellent. All right, John, thanks a lot. And we are going to play Circus Peanuts by Dreadnecks here on the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast on allwny.com.
Johnny Confidence out.
Step right up. Welcome, folks. Enjoy the show. Big Top came to town on the 1st of July. The town residents all lined up outside with nickels in our hands, kicking everyone. We take our seats waiting in broken patience. The strong man lifts boulders with the greatest of ease, while the acrobat soars around the trapeze. Brothers, starts to hiss and boo and cuss when we witness his exposed circus peanuts. We stand up in protest with the fists full and change, becoming weapons against the vulgar display. Projectiles serve from the silver to chairs. The hollow is all when the elephant said, and is dismounted to militant red. If we only would have evacuated. The pachyderm started to mutilate. We never had a chance to escape, but the ivory stabs and the crushing beak turned grand finale to grand debate. Rum diggy diggy dum diggy 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 dum. Rum diggy diggy dum diggy 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 dum. Rum diggy diggy dum diggy 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 dum. Rum diggy diggy dum diggy diggy dum.
Think all our bodies turn bones to dust, crushing our heads like circus peanuts. So we mash what's left with teeth and tusk for interrupting their beastly lusts.
Rum diggy diggy dum diggy 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 dum. Rum diggy diggy dum diggy 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 dum. Rum diggy diggy dum diggy 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 dum. Rum diggy diggy dum diggy diggy dum. Rum diggy diggy dum diggy 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 dum. Rum diggy diggy dum diggy 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 dum. Rum diggy diggy dum diggy 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 dum. Rum diggy diggy dum diggy diggy dum.
Cassidy, there's so much going on in Buffalo.
I love when the season turns to concert season.
It is springtime, and there's so much cool stuff going on, and we are going to squeeze as much of that cool stuff as we can in 7 minutes.
Right.
And go. On May 24th, we have the next Struggle is Real show. I'm super excited about it. We got the Scarecrow show, the Molise, Ella Mantra, the Burkharts, and Cheap Peach from Fredonia. The Scarecrow show is a super energetic rock band. The Molise are this great dancey indie rock band from Japan. Ella Mantra and the Burkharts are both kind of this like real dreamy kind of indie pop. And Cheap Peach is they're in a younger group, all college students from Fredonia, and they're shoegaze.
Sounds like a good mix. Where and when is that?
That is May 24th. Did I say that? That's May 24th.
You said the day, yeah.
Let's say it again. It's May 24th at Milky's. Doors at 8. Show
Perfect.
at 9. $5.
$5?
$5.
Only
that's it.
$5.
What else could you do? It's $1 a band. And
That's great.
They're all worth more than $1, let's be honest. And then on May 9th at Mohawk Place, Valley Heart, Scathe, West Ferry, Friends of the Podcast Ghost Pool, and Previous Love are playing. Ghost Pool's like one of, if not the best pop punk band in the area. Previous Love is a great shoegaze band with cool songwriting, great guitar playing. So go check them out. And then on May 11th at Mr. Goodbar, we have Over and Out. We have friends of the podcast Cardboard Homestead. We have Jordan Potter, and we have John Janikevich's Dreadnecks. Over and Out and Cardboard Homestead are both folk punk bands. Over and Out has a violin, which makes it a little extra pretty. Jordan Potter is from like Fillmore. He's kind of a little, is that upstate, downstate?
Fillmore, New York?
I don't know quite where that is.
Well, I think,
Well,
yeah.
wherever it is, that's where he's coming from. He's a singer-songwriter. He put out an album, I believe, either at the beginning of this year or the end of last year. That's really good. And then, yeah, Dreadnecks. I have yet to see them live. I'm curious to see what kind of mayhem they are. Gypsy punk, I call them.
Okay.
Their lead singer's signature move, he plays with a washboard, and his signature
So is
move
this
is
like dirty punk folk? Is this like the wave of like we're gonna wear some
it's almost
flannel
like,
and some ripped up overalls? And,
yeah,
yeah.
it kind of is. But there's like some classic rock, and there's some metal, and there's
And
like
a violin
some like
thrown in.
Cajun stuff going on
Okay.
there. So it's a little like
The gypsy
I
appeal.
kind of need to see it before I know it. But his like signature move is like spinning the washboard like around his neck as he's playing.
You gotta have a
So-
stupid human trick.
Exactly. It sounds like, so that's going to be incredible. I'm hoping I can make it out to that.
At Good Bar.
That is at Mr. Goodbar. Then on May 14th at the Trelf, we have Furious Bongos, the music of Frank Zappa. I always like talking about Frank Zappa stuff on here. Like, I think anyone who can play any of that material is just, it's such a...
Anybody who studied enough to play any lead sheet that is Zappa created
Exactly.
is, worth my time.
So if you go check it, it's like a 15-piece band. They have guys who've played with Yo-Yo Ma and I think they
Les
said like
Claypool.
Les Paul.
Les Paul. Why am I confused?
Different Les, but it still works.
Nevertheless.
Yes, either Les is pretty impressive, nonetheless. So you can go check that out on May 14th at the Trelf. Then on May 18th, we have Porch Fest from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Cassidy, what's Porch Fest?
Oh, it's
For
a
our
good
listeners.
time. So, it is the 7th annual Buffalo Porch Fest by the Elmwood Village Association. Notably, the band This, is playing
that I was talking about earlier.
at 3 p.m. on St. James Place. Pretty much anywhere in the Elmwood Village, walking about that afternoon, you're going to catch a variety of eclectic, original Buffalo and beyond music. Truly, tucking back down any side street or on the porch of any church that afternoon, you'll be surprised by what you can walk up and take part in.
Sure, and if you go to if you go to buffaloporchfest.org, there's a complete list of all the bands, including the addresses they're playing at, the times, all of their genres, and as you can see, as you flip through, there's jam bands and electronic bands and New Orleans brass bands and soul, funk, and reggae and hip-hop. There's just whatever kind of music you're looking for, you're going to find
Choose your own adventure.
Yes, and you can just stroll down the street and see all these different bands. And,
From 1 to 6 that Saturday.
Yeah, and it's I participated with the Lady of the Tiger last year, and we had a blast, and there was a lot of people around. So
in the same vein, you've got First Fridays. If you're looking to hop gallery to gallery, there's a lot of original music that is there included with all of these different gallery walks.
So tell me about this First Friday you speak of. So as a member of Infringement, I've seen it, but I don't actually know what it is.
So every first Friday of the month, particularly in good weather, it's the best time. Well, it happens all year round, but I'm excited that the season has turned because you can go throughout Allentown and then into the city proper. Any galleries that have their openings for the month will have their original visual artists on the walls, but also have buskers or bands performing, and so you can by accident check out some really great original music. Particularly, there's a friend of mine, Mr. Joe Todaro. He's a guitar player and original singer-songwriter. He'll be playing with his new group, Cheaper Than Vinyl. That's Friday, May 3rd at 9 p.m. That is going to be at the Unity Church at People Art. That's Delaware and Auburn. So they are open, that gallery, the Unity Gallery, upstairs with an open mic as a part of their First Friday art opening. So you can catch a whole bunch of, original things through that. And then go downstairs. I love these new venues that just happen to use Buffalo's architecture, and you're in the basement of some old church to hear an original group. This is, as I said, Cheaper Than Vinyl, Joe Todaro's new group with Frida Baca on violin and Mary Kislowski singing. They call themselves Original Eclectic Folk Music.
All right. So check out First Friday, too, and that is 7 minutes on the dot.
Yes, we're good.
So I think, so we are so low on time that we're actually going to skip whatever song we'd usually play here. So it's time to go, Cassidy.
Oh, already?
Yeah, that's all we have. That's all we have for episode 35, guys. On episode 36, we're going to be sitting down with Benny Hayes from one of Buffalo's best bands, Handsome Jack. They're a really great blues rock band.
Love those guys.
They just got back from touring Europe, which we're going to talk to them about. They had a recent documentary made. We're going to be talking about that. And the recording of their most recent album, Everything's Gonna Be Alright, which I recommend you check out on Spotify. We're also going to be recapping previous concerts. We're going to be talking about the past concerts and, whatever other nonsense we can get into.
You can find The Scarecrow Show and Dreadnecks on all major streaming platforms, except for the new Scarecrow Show EP, which is only available in physical form. The Scarecrow Show will be playing at Milky's on May 24th for our next Struggle is Real show, and the Dreadnecks can be found at Mr. Goodbar on May 11th, with Over and Out, Jordan Potter, and friends of the podcast, Cardboard Homestead. Check out allwny.com or download the All WNY app. There you can find their local music stream and its family of podcasts, including The Skeleton Closet with Carl Winslow, Corey Comments, The Nick and Dan Show, The Think So Joe Show,
hosted by Karina DeFabio and Steamed Hams,
and our favorite podcast, The Big Picture with Michael Sargent, where you can learn about Snapchat filters that make those damn illegals disappear from your photos. Make photography great again.
If you're listening to this episode before May 4th, be sure to stop by Mohawk Place and hang out for our fundraiser for Jessica Cameron, featuring performances by Wyatt Coyne, Short Attention Span Theater, the Irving Claws, and friends of the podcast RJ DeMarco from Fernway and Allison Pipitone. You can find us at Facebook at The Struggle is Real Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at SIRPodcastNY. You can bother me at Sir William Idol on Twitter. That's all for us. Being a musician is chaos. Please be kind. See you next time and keep struggling.